Good morning, students. Welcome to your economics class. Students, today I am going to start your next chapter. Chapter number 6, supply. Okay, so in this we understand the meaning of supply, the supply curve, supply schedule, okay, and determinants, the factors which affect on the supply of a commodity. Okay, student, first we understand what is supply. So supply is the quantity of a commodity which a seller ready to sell in the market. Quantity of commodity which a seller ready to sell in the market. Okay, so it refers to as a quantity of a commodity that a firm is willing or ready to sell at a given price. Okay, so ready to sell in the market at given price. Okay, so price is fixed for a particular commodity at given price during a period of time. Clear, student? What is supply? Quantity of a commodity which a firm or a seller ready to sell in the market at a given price during a period of time. Clear? After that, supply is of individual supply or market supply. Supply can be divided into two parts. Okay, supply is individual supply, quantity of a commodity, sell by single firm, single seller. Okay, to that we the supply of that commodity is called supply of one commodity which a seller ready to sell in the market, which a one seller ready to sell in the market to call individual supply of that commodity. And market supply, number of firms sell number of product. Market supply is equal to, student, refers to quantity of a commodity that all producer taken together and willing and able to offer for sale. Okay, in this all producers willing to sell and offer in the market at different prices, okay, during a given period of time. Okay, students, so difference between individual supply and market supply is, individual supply refers to the quantity of a commodity, and individual seller, a single firm, a single seller ready to sell, offer for sale in the market. And market supply is equal to all producers, the quantity of a commodity which all producers willing to sell offer in the market at different prices, but at a given period of time. Clear, students? Next is supply and stock. So what is the difference between supply and stock? So students, stock is quantity of a commodity which is available with the firm, okay. Stock refers to that quantity of a commodity which is with the firm, which is available with the firm at a particular point of time. Whereas supply is part of stock which is offer for sale. Okay, so supply is part of stock means part of a quantity of a commodities, part of stock which is offer for sale or which a seller willing to sell, offer for sale in the market. Okay, so stock is that quantity of a commodity which which is with the seller, with the firm. Okay, which is retained by the firm, and supply which is offer for sale. Clear, students? Next is determinants. What determinants or factor which effect on the supply of a commodity? Okay, which factor effect on the supply of a commodity? So factors, and we also call determinants which affect supply. Okay, so first is price of a commodity. Price of a commodity is also effect on the supply of a commodity. So students, as we read earlier that there is a negative relationship between price and demand. Price increases, demand decreases. Price decreases, demand increases. But in supply and price there is a positive relationship. When price is increases, the sellers, the firms increase the supply in the market because they want to earn more profit. Okay, so when prices increases, supply is also increases because they want to sell more and more of their product, and at that time they can charge higher prices and their profit is increased. Okay, and if price is less, so supply is also less. No seller want to sell their product at a minimum price, at a less price. Okay, so price of a commodity has positive relationship with the supply. Okay, students. Next factor is supply of other goods. Price of other goods. Price of other goods. So student, other goods we also call substitute goods. Substitute goods which are used in place of each other, like tea and coffee. Okay, students. So substitute goods, when the price of substitute goods, okay, so price of substitute goods increases. Okay, so what the seller do? Seller stop the production of the commodity and start production of substitute goods. Okay, so when the price of substitute goods increases, the producer shift to the production of substitute good. He stopped the production of the commodity which he previously produced. He is starting production of that commodities which their price is increased. If tea seller is there, okay, he sell tea. When the price of coffee increases, he stop producing tea and shifted to the production of coffee. Clear, student? So when the price of substitute goods means other goods increases, the supply, now we are talking about supply of the original good we are taking tea is decreases because the producer shifted to the production of coffee now. Okay, so when the price of substitute goods decreases, so producer do not want to change, they are very happy to producing coffee. Okay, so they are producing coffee, so the supply of original goods is increases. Okay, next is state of technology. So students, technology is changes according to the time. Okay, so number of changes are there. So if state of technology is new, state of technology, if technology is new technology is there, so at that time supply of a commodity increases because due to new technology number of products is increased. So when the number of products is increased, supply is obviously increased. When the state of technology is old, means the organization do not accept the changes in the technology, they do not want to change the technology at the time. So old technology is used at the time of supply of the commodities decrease because they are using old products. They are using old product. We can say that their production does not increase. So at the end supplies decrease. Okay, students. Next is, so state of technology is there. Next is taxes and subsidies. So taxes and subsidies. So taxes means the amount which is charged by the government, students. It is of direct taxes or indirect taxes. So students, if the direct taxes on production increase, taxes on production increase, taxes on production increase, what the producer do? Producer do not want to do the more, to produce more product. Okay, so the supply is decrease. If the taxes rates, if tax rates is increased, so the supply of a commodity decrease. Okay, if tax rate, so government provide relief to the sellers, okay, on the production. If tax on production decreases, so there is a no high amount of charges from producers, so they are very happy to producing more and more goods. So and then the supply of a product increase. Okay students, next is goals and objectives of the firm. Goals and objectives of the firm. If they want to survive in the market, just earning the profit, then their supply is constant. Okay, goals of firm. If they do not want to grow, okay, if we can say that if they are happy with the current performance, with their current okay state, so their production, if they want to grow in size, they want to growth in the size of business, okay, their supply increases. Why supply increases? Because when they want to grow, if they want to increase the size of the business, they produce more products. If they produce more products, they do not kept with sell, they can supply in the market. Okay, so the supply of the product is increases. After that, when they do not maximize their profit, they are happy with their current state, at that time they do not produce more product, and supply is decreased or constant, we can say that. Okay, so these are the determinants, okay, which are effect on the supply of a commodity. Okay students, next is law of supply. So law of supply, we already done this when we discussed the first factor, price of a commodity. So law of supply. What law of supply states that when the price of commodity increases, supply of a commodity also increases. Okay students, keeping all other factors constant. Keeping all other factor constant, when the price of a commodity increase, producer want to earn more profit, they ready to sell their whole stock in the market. So when the price is increases, supply of the product is also increases. This is what the law of supply states. Okay students, so some assumptions are there to apply the law of supply. First assumption is that all factors, other factor remain constant. No change in the price of substitute goods, no change in the tax rate, no change in the state of technology. Okay, so number of assumptions are there. So assumptions are, we can first is other factor remain constant. Other factors remain constant. No change in the price, constant. No change in the price of other factors. Okay students, no change in the technology. No change in technology. They are using old technology as they do their work. Okay, so at that time the law of supply is applied. Price of the factor of production remains same. Okay, no change in taxation system. No change in taxation. The factors which affect the supply, okay, except price, if they are changing, the law does not apply. Okay students, so for the if we want to apply the law of supply, we want to understand the law of supply, the assumptions are the factor which affect the supply except price, they must be constant. No change in all these factors. Okay students, goals of the producer remain same. Goals of producers remain same. They do not want to grow, remain same, and they do not want to slow down the process. Okay, so these are the assumptions students. Next is supply schedule. So supply schedule, when we present the supply of a commodity and the price of a commodity in a tabular form, to that we call supply schedule. Okay, supply schedule. So supply schedule is when we present price of a commodity and quantity supplied of a commodity of a now I am taking X commodity, only one commodity. Okay, in a tabular form, price increases 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Supplies also increases 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So this table shows positive relationship between supply and price. So when price of a commodity and the quantity supplied of that commodity is represented by using a table represented through tabular form, to that we call supply schedule. Okay students, next is supply curve. So when we present supply schedule graphically, diagrammatically, to that we call supply curve. Okay, now I am considering the table. So I am taking price on x-axis. Okay, price of a X commodity on x-axis and quantity of a commodity supplied in OY axis. Okay, on OY axis. Now if I am presenting the supply like units are 10, price is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and supply is 10, 20, 30, 40, okay, and 50. If when price is 1, supply is 10, price is 20, supply is 20, price is 2, supply is 20, price is 3, supply is 30, price is 4, supply is 40, price is 5, supply is 50. So this curve, this is upward movement curve, and straight upward movement curve is SS, that is supply curve. Now I am using a table, considering a table to present the supply in a graphic form, to that we call supply curve. When we consider the supply schedule to present the supply in a diagrammatically form, to that we call supply curve. So SS is supply curve. Clear students? So this is just individual supply. Okay, now we are understanding market supply schedule. Market supply schedule So students, market supply schedule is like price. Market supply schedule, price is there, okay, and commodity, number of commodities are there which are sold by the number of firms, okay, like X commodity and Y commodity. The price of the these are same, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, and the supply of X commodity is 10, 20, 30, 30, 40, 50. Supply of Y commodity is 5, 15, 25, 35 and 45. So students, now if I total up this X and Y supply, okay, it is 15, 35, 55, 75 and the next is 95. So when the supply of a total more than 2 commodities is represented by a table form, okay, represented through a table and totaled up, so this part X plus Y, the supply of X commodity and Y commodity is called market supply. So as we read in the meaning, that what is market supply? Market supply, the total product, the supply of total producers, the supply of a product done by total producer, all producer. So the supply of X for X commodity and Y commodity, when I total this is called market supply. When I present the market supply in a tabular form, to that we call market supply schedule. And the next is market supply curve. Market supply curve. Now students, I am considering market supply curve. Now I am considering market supply schedule to present the supply in a diagrammatic form. Okay, so two diagrams are there for two, and third is, so first for X commodity, second for Y commodity, and third the next is for market supply. Okay, so in this one, this SS curve shows supply of X commodity, this shows supply of Y commodity, S1, S1. When I am presenting this with the total, okay, so S2, S2. Now I am considering the third column of the table, that is X plus Y. Okay, when I am presenting the total supply of two commodities in a graphic form, to that we call market supply curve. So this last is market supply curve. Okay students, clear?